this lesson, we'll create a 2D contour on a complex part. After completing this lesson, you'll be able to create a 2D contour toolpath, use Project in a sketch, modify sketch constraints, and use Simulate to validate a toolpath. Let's carry on with the file from our previous example, and let's talk about ways in which we can 2D contour the outside of our part. Now, it might seem like a 2D contour is a very simple thing, but oftentimes when you're dealing with complex geometry, it can be tricky because there's no easy selection for the outside profile of our part. So we want to talk about a few different options we have when talking about a 2D contour. So first, let's get started by going to 2D and 2D contour. We'll continue to use tool number 7, which is our 1/2 inch end mill. And in the geometry section for contour, we want to talk about ways in which we can utilize the selections on the screen. Even though this is a closed profile, we can select it and get a 2D contour operation. You'll notice that as soon as I select it, that a 2D contour is shown on the screen. We can use an extension distance. For example, I can add 1/4 inch, and then I can say OK and create that toolpath. Now, in some cases, this will work just fine, and in other cases, what ends up happening is the tool will flip from one side to the other. So you'll notice in this case, it contours the outside edge, but then it also flips over and contours the inside edge. And this is a product of a few different things that happen here. Because it's taking a 3D curve and pushing it down into 2D, it doesn't necessarily know which side the tool needs to be on. So if we take a look and we select this red arrow and move it to the other side, you'll notice that in some cases it'll change the geometry, and in other cases we still have issues with our selection. When we're dealing with selecting the edge of a 3D part, the location of your selection is critical. So if we rotate this around and I select this bottom edge, for example, notice that we're now on the inside edge of the part. If I clear this and I select the upper edge, for example, you'll notice that if I select the upper edge on the straight face, that the arrow is still on the inside of the part, but if I click on it, it'll flip to the other side. Now again, this does tend to produce some problems based on geometry, and it really is going to depend on your specific file. So if you can select your edge geometry and get an appropriate contour operation, then that might be a good option for you. In our case, what we want to do is we want to explore some other options that we might have. Because in this case, the selection of our 2D contour is not producing a valid result. So I'm going to delete this toolpath, then I'm going to talk about the options we have in terms of our original geometry. So if we expand down into our sketches folder and we take a look at sketch 3, you can see that we have the outside shape of the part as it was modeled. Now, the rounded corners happened as a fillet feature after the geometry was created. So this tells me a few things. This tells me that I have a sketch that will help me use this as a 2D contour, but that I also have to have a tool that matches the radius of this corner. If we use Inspect and we take a look at the radius of this corner, you can see that it's 1/2 inch. But the diameter of the tool that we're using is 1/2 inch, which means that this is not going to work in terms of a contour operation. So in this case, we need to navigate back to the design workspace. We need to activate our link, and I'm going to hide my fixture assembly because I don't need to currently see it. And then I want to create a new sketch and talk about my options here. If we were to expand our link, expand our sketches, and show sketch 3, I'm going to temporarily hide my bodies. Then I'm going to use Create, Project Include, and Project. I want to bring in these two edges, say OK, and then hide sketch 3. So if we were to simply project the sketch geometry and try to modify it, for example by adding a fillet, you'll notice that this doesn't work. Because it's a projected edge, we're not able to modify its geometry by doing things like trimming, extending, or filleting. In order to make that happen, we would need to select it and remove the constraint. The constraint in this case is the project. The problem that happens here is once we remove that constraint, sure, we can go back and we can apply a fillet between the edge, and we can make the radius value 1/2 inch. But now we have an underdefined sketch, which means that these edges can move around, and then we no longer are replicating the geometry we're trying to copy. The way to get around this is by using the project on the actual geometry. So if we select Create, Project Include, and Project again, we can grab individual edges and we can bring those edges down to our sketch plane. I'm going to clear this selection because we can also select this face, for example, and we can bring in additional geometry. If I hide the solid body, I can double click this inside edge and simply delete it because we only need the outside geometry. However, we're still not exactly where we need to be. So I'm going to delete these entities here that are not at the right location for me. And then I'm going to use project include again, and I want to project these all the way out to the edge. If we actually look at this in 3D, what we're doing is we're selecting that entire arc, but it's flattening it down into 2D for us. So again, if we hide the body, all we need to do now is come back and draw a line between these edges, and now we've got the entire outside profile with the appropriate fillet radii. So once we have this sketch, we can navigate back into our manufacturer workspace. We'll have to regenerate our toolpath by using Ctrl-G on the keyboard, but now we can use this sketch for our 2D contour. So we'll go into 2D contour, again still using tool number 7, but this time we're going to select the outside profile of the sketch, and we're going to ensure that the arrow is on the outside. Now we can set up all of our tool parameters. For example, the depth is going to be based on the location of that sketch. However, we want to bring our stock back and make sure that we're not machining too deep. So as we look at the stock, what we want to do is we want to make a selection, and we want to machine down to here, but add an additional offset of maybe 0.05 in the negative direction. So if we add minus 0.05, what we're doing is we're pushing that plane down and making sure that we're not leaving a thin section of that stock. Under the passes, we want to make sure that we are finishing it and not leaving stock behind. But we are going to have to do multiple depths based on the geometry of our tool. So inside of here, I'm going to have a maximum step down of 1/4 inch. And then we're going to say OK and allow it to create this contour operation. We can now go back and hide the new sketch we created, and we can minimize our model. So now we have an adaptive toolpath that does the initial roughing, and then we have our 2D contour which does some of the finishing. We can go back and we can hide the stock, and if you want to bring back your fixture assembly, minimize the model, select multi-axis setup 2, and do a quick simulation. From here I'm going to jump past the initial 3D adaptive toolpath, then I'm going to play through my contour. If we speed this up a little bit, you can see that the tool is working its way all the way around, and it's taking it down to the exact outside diameter. It is showing that we have a few collisions here, so we will want to identify what it's counting as a collision, so we'll turn on stop on collision, and we'll play through. So if we zoom in, it doesn't look like the tool itself is colliding with any geometry. It looks like we've got plenty of clearance, and I don't see any potential issues here. The holder itself is not colliding with any geometry, so even though it's calling this a collision, I'm okay with those results. So at this point in time, what we've done is our 3D adaptive to get rid of most of the material, and then a 2D contour which takes us down to the correct outside shape. There's still a lot of work to do, and we need to start talking about multi-axis positioning. But at this point I'm going to navigate back to a home view and save my file before moving on to the next step.